Hello and welcome to Olde World Tech Fridays. How is everyone this evening?
Recovering.
I am not unwell.
That's good. That's really good.
Lucky for you.
Yep. I'm on the tail end. Mine's not quite as bad as Ryan's is. Mine started last Friday afternoon and then lasted up until Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. So
Yeah,
it was not pleasant.
Mine started sometime around the same time as yours, Frank. I started to get a tickle in my throat, and then I did some work on Saturday around the house, and that kicked my ass. And then Sunday I was in bed, and Monday I was in bed. Tuesday I was in bed.
Me too.
I apparently missed all the fun.
Yeah, and you know what I blame it on? It's the first year I haven't got my cold shot.
The flu shot?
Yeah, I haven't gotten it, and it was just it'd been like a mix up at work, and we didn't get it done at all. And
well, it's after winter break too. You know, with schools, you know how they work. You know, winter break's over, everybody gets back together and spreads the love.
Yeah,
everybody
I had
gets
my
germs.
vaccination back in September. Yeah, just before VCF, I went ahead and did both COVID booster and
cold and flu. Nice. Yeah, so I think this really tells me I need to start getting that done every year pretty religiously. I was pretty good about it for the last 5 or 10 years, but this year specifically, we had something coming up at school. It got canceled, and it wasn't rescheduled. I said, I'll just get it done with the pharmacy the next time I'm there, and life happens, and then you forget to do things, and here we are.
Oh yeah, norovirus has been really bad this season too.
Yeah, yeah, seeing that around here as well. So, all right, so because I'm going to be coughing most of the night like a smoker for the last 50 years. Sorry, who do we have in chat?
Let's see. First, we've got Eric's Edge.
Who's that?
Hello, Eric. Francois. Hello, Francois. JC.
Jesus Christ, can you please fix this?
JC's always with
us.
Off
I have.
iMark. Hello, iMark. CDI. Hello. Dave of Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Hello, Dave. Thomas Armstrong. Hello, Thomas. And we've got I80386SX.
You say that too slow.
I know. Retro Tech or Die. Hello. Trina of Trina's Technobabble. Hello. Garth Beagle. Hello. Retro Tech Chris. Trina says, I blame iMark for taking you out and getting you sick, Ryan.
Yeah, it would be something you would do.
CDI says Nora got me last weekend. So apparently, like I said, it is definitely going around. 'Tis the season.
And did you get Mr. Beagle?
I did.
Okay.
Yep, right before Retro Tech Chris.
Perfect.
Indeed. So hello all, and thank you for joining us.
You know, you have your choice in Friday evening entertainment. We're happy you're here. We're happy to be here because, let's be honest, if I was still feeling sick, and I'm sure if Frank was still feeling sick, we probably wouldn't be here. It'd be the Ron and Eric show.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just was not feeling good. And that was
everybody had it, right?
Was Friday. Yeah. Holy cow, yeah.
Everybody in your house had it, right?
Jess right now is sick. And the baby was kind of the last one to get it as well. So, but yeah, everybody's getting to the other end. Thank goodness here. So hopefully we'll be well in the next few days.
That's
Trina and Liam's birthday are coming up next Friday.
Correct.
So that's coming up quickly. So Trina's not on, so she can't tell us how old she's going to be. So we can only speculate.
62. Frank, I noticed something there in the background. It looks as though the IKEA fairy came and assembled some furniture.
Oh yeah, I don't remember. Did I have this put together last week?
You didn't? No.
I don't know. I don't remember. So yeah, I got some of the bookcases put together and some of the stuff put away. So these are all the World of Warcraft collector's editions from 2004 all the way up until this past year.
Nice.
All the StarCraft ones, Diablo ones, some of the statues from World of Warcraft and Diablo back here.
Nice.
I do have other cabinets on this side that are assembled.
Oh, nice.
Some software put away.
Like your busy child playset. That's
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's what happens. When I can't figure out what's going on with something, I just go over there and sit for a while and play.
and play with the busy center. Yeah, that's good.
Right. Eventually it'll come to me. I still got a lot more stuff to set up. There's 9 boxes over there for some the metal wiring shelves.
All right.
That I've got to put up for the other side.
Right.
And I have IKEA coming back Monday to drop more furniture off. So.
Nice.
It's
How
getting
far
there.
is IKEA from your location?
About 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
Okay, it's not too bad.
So yeah. Go ahead and talk. I gotta do something real quick.
All right.
Copy. Hang on. Paste. There we go. Anyway, yeah. So I just order online, and then they have free shipping.
Okay.
So they'll bring it right to the house.
And so is it IKEA that delivers it, or is it just like a third party?
No, they use a third party company. But I'll tell you, these guys came in a giant truck, backed out, down along the side of the house, and carried everything to the back porch.
God love them.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, holy cow, I couldn't believe it.
That's awesome.
Figured they'd be like UPS or something, just drop it off the back and
Just
roll
pitch
out.
it off the back into the
Exactly.
pouring rain, just getting soaking wet.
Yep. Yeah, typical delivery.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I'm happy to report, Frank, your last package you sent.
Oh yeah.
UPS. There was no duty or anything on it, and
So I must have did it right this time.
yeah, and UPS. I thought, well, maybe because of my business, they'll send me an invoice for it instead of trying to bill me when it was delivered.
Yep.
It's been like 2 weeks. I haven't seen anything in the mail, so I'm going to say that whatever you did last time was the correct way of doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think what happens is sometimes when I send international shipments, I've noticed this is I go to click on the so I use Pirate Ship, so I go to click on the gift box.
Yeah.
And then it asks you to fill out the information, and when you change anything else, sometimes it'll unselect it, and then you got to go back and do it again. So I don't know, but I'm assuming like I triple checked and made sure it gave me the extra papers and stuff, So I triple checked. So we'll see what happens.
And
that's awesome.
I plugged in the 500.
Mm-hmm.
And it works great.
Good, awesome. Speaking of
Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's a crappy headset.
Crappy headset.
Yeah.
You sound like Darth Vader.
That's what Darth Vader said.
Maybe that's what it was. It was a crappy headset they used on set. I bet you that's what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
It was James Earl Jones being a badass. God rest.
I just look like a hot mess tonight, so I am going to stay off camera, but I'm here.
Treat us the Hot Mess Express.
We like hot mess.
A mess in which heat is applied.
Yes, the heated mess.
That was last night during my stream. For those of you who watched and didn't watch,
I was programming.
I was asleep.
you could have fucking programmed and watched the stream.
Actually, no. I'm at the point where if I do that,
Distractions.
it takes me 5 times longer to write code.
The cost of changing task.
Anyway,
Good old
I did a
working
soldering stream last night that went completely tits up. But
Well, that's okay.
I was going to say,
we're going to end up replacing his 10-year-old laptop with one from Mantronic.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
What did you pick up from Mantronic?
I will on Sunday. I actually called the woman today, Leona,
Nice.
because he can't pay me till Sunday, and the sale ends Sunday. So I'm like, he's bringing cash, so I just got to run up to the bank and throw it in the bank. And I'm like, if I e-transfer you the money Sunday, can I still get the deal? And she's like, yeah, that's no problem. It's a Lenovo ThinkPad Gen 1. It's a AMD Ryzen 5 Pro.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that in the...
Yeah, with
this week's,
16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, I
sounds
saw
like
that
a computer.
It is a computer.
It does sound like a computer.
And for the price is reasonable, so I
Perfect.
figured, hey, why not?
I haven't heard of Mr. Yuck in years. They used to give us stickers and stuff in school. Mr. Yuck stickers and stuff to take home and put on stuff and put poison control numbers and all that everywhere. I haven't heard of Mr. Yuck in years.
I don't know
They
what
still
Mr.
do
Yuck.
that?
I don't know what Mr. Yuck is. So
I just
Ryan,
know
do you know what that is?
I know of it because of Americans.
So it must be
American
they only
Shepherd.
do that in the U.S.
I think
They're
it's
like
a
these
US thing.
neon green looking smiley. Well, not a smiley face, but like a yuck face. And you go and you put them on all the chemicals and poison stuff in your house. And then they also give you a bigger sticker that has the numbers, emergency numbers. So like for poison control, and then you write in for your local fire and police and all that kind of stuff on there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't
we
have
did that
those
when we were in school.
We didn't have them
Huh.
in Michigan.
It was
Interesting.
created by the Pittsburgh Poison Control Center.
There you go.
If you don't know who Mr. Yuck is, you need to watch Retro Tech or Die. Videos. There you go.
Oh, I thought maybe he was actually secretly Mr. Yuck.
No. So let me see if I get Mr. Yuck stickers were also glow in the dark. Yes, that's correct.
Has
I was gonna
anyone
say.
reproduced these
Oh, you can
classes?
still
I
get-
don't.
you can
I don't
still
know.
get
If
them.
I
They're on
don't think
Amazon.
do they
They're on
still
Amazon.
do them?
They're
Oh,
on
they
Amazon.
are.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say I was gonna Google it to show everybody. Yeah, Mr. Yuck. We had Mr. Yuck in Pennsylvania too. So Garth had him here in New York.
Garth, I'm going to tell you something though. New York is still in the U.S. It's not in
Oh,
Canada.
I know, but what I'm saying is
No, I'm
Eric
telling
said
Garth,
he didn't
not
have
you.
him his way.
Because Garth is a complete donut. So
Okay, so that's why though UPMC Children's Hospital trademarked it in Pittsburgh, which was like an hour from my house. So that's why. So it
So you could
started
do a
in our
spoof
area.
on it, call it Mr. Yucky,
Yeah.
right? And then have
All right.
it be about,
Taking
you
batteries.
put
out
it
of
on technology, or you could put it on,
So had him in Virginia too. So hang on a second. Let me present, share screen, Mr. Yuck. So this is what Mr. Yuck looked like right here.
Yeah, that's him.
Yep. But yeah, it was like this neon green sticker.
And yeah, I that poison control. That if you see the video just underneath it.
Yep.
I think that's a commercial I remember. It's from the 70s.
Oh yeah, right here. Yeah.
And it might have been attached to like the beginning of whatever affiliate we had here.
Mr. Yuck is me. Mr. Yuck is green.
Hey,
Mr.
I
Yuck
Mark.
mean,
Mr. Yuck is mean. Mr. Yuck is green.
I feel like
That's a
whatever
weird-
affiliate we had up here, like at ABC or one of them,
Yep.
was from that area. So I think those commercials ran on some of our Saturday morning.
Well, I would bet it was because Mr. Rogers was originally Canada, and
I know,
then when they
Mr.
first started, and then transported the show, and it was run out of Pittsburgh, out of PBS, the local PBS station in Pittsburgh.
Right.
So it could have been the same network there that they ran that as well. But yeah,
See,
I hadn't
when
heard
I
that reference
drove,
in years.
we had a whole whopping 2 channels, and you had to move the antenna around to get a good reception.
Well, we did that too when we were kids. We only had over the air. We had one local station and one UHF station, the 24, which was the PBS.
Yeah.
That's what we had. We only had 2 stations. When I was a kid growing up, that's all we had. We
I
didn't
had
have
basic
satellite
cable.
till I was in high school.
We had basic cable when I was a kid. I remember
There was no such thing as cable in the middle of nowhere.
we had radio.
We had radio, yes.
I remember
we
when they
did as
went
well.
from silent to talkies.
Yeah. Ovaltine decoder ring.
Rich chocolatey Ovaltine.
Yes.
I played
Can
Bert
is
Healy and
round.
Annie one
The
year.
mug is round. Should be called round teen. It's gold.
Oh,
right?
and by the way, Mark, I've informed Ryan that you are no longer allowed to take him out because he keeps getting sick, and I can't get my package from Ryan. So
That's right.
stop taking him out.
So,
So he's trying to
moving
snipe
on.
all the retro finds here, so that's what he's doing. He's making me sick.
what is new and exciting? Does anybody have anything new or exciting tech related?
Yeah,
Or tech adjacent? What do you got going on, Trina?
I went to my first Junk Independence Day on a Sunday, which was held at one of the hacker spaces here in Toronto.
Independence Day. I've not heard of such thing.
And it's
Do
basically
explain.
people can bring in free, like old, new, everywhere's in between, used computers. and peripherals, and I got two. What are they called? They're the little itty bitty computers.
A Nook?
No. Raspberry Pis version
Oh,
ones.
Oh yeah.
People were just giving them away, and one was in a case. So, and I'm actually trading some stuff that I picked up for a version 2 as well that somebody picked up. So,
Nice.
went there and picked up a slew of stuff. Check out my stream from this past Sunday because I got home and quickly because there were 3 of us that went and hung out, and then we went and grabbed a bite to eat. Thankfully, it was just across the road. And then I ran back, and I'm like, "Oh my god, my stream's at 8:00, and it's 7:30, and I still haven't got anything out of the car yet." So,
Classic train.
but yeah, go check out my haul. I picked up a AMD AM4 motherboard.
Nice.
Yeah, the heatsink compound got a little overly excited and went all over the socket.
Oh
At least
my.
the top half of it. So I cleaned it yesterday with a toothbrush and some rubbing alcohol, and then used the ultrasonic cleaner. So, and I'm right now watching an auction on eBay to see if I can get a cheapy processor for it, because AM4 processors are like stupid pricey. And I found one for, like, if no one else bids on it, for a really good price, and also some cheap memory.
Okay.
All from here in Ontario. So
AM6 processor.
AM4, what generation? What are we talking?
I don't know. Like, the ones I was looking at were between $60 and $80, and I'm like, I just don't want to spend that kind of money.
No, like we're talking Ryzen, right? You're not going
Ryzen
back
stuff,
AM4. Okay.
Yeah. Like Ryzen 5 and stuff like that will work.
Gotcha.
That's real.
They're a little pricey for.
Yeah, that's brand new.
For what I just want.
Yeah, I think I paid for the builds that we did for the school. I think I paid for the board and the Ryzen chip. I think it was $139 or $159, something like that, for the board and the chip. It was a super deal. So I was like, I'm gonna get that.
And I also got to get like DDR4 memory, and there's an auction that nobody is bidding on because it's only like 2 4-gig sticks. So I'm gonna see if I can. I've been watching it. Nobody's bid on it. I'm gonna wait till the last day and then put the opening bid and see if I can win it.
Snipe it, yeah.
Because they want $10 for it, and I'm like, yeah, that's. And then I'll just end up keeping the parts that I get for it, because the board isn't worth a great deal. Surprising, but yeah, I picked up that. I got some McDonald's mini computers, which are amazing. They're XP machines, embedded
McDonald's?
XP.
Oh, like from an actual McDonald's restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was really confused. I was like, I don't remember McDonald's giving out computers.
Sorry. Yeah, computers from McDonald's. So you boot
It's
up
an expensive Happy Meal.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I remember when McDonald's used to have the N64 consoles in the restaurants.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those were cool.
I
remember when they had a ball pit.
Yep.
I remember when they didn't look like some corporate chain.
No,
like they actually had colors and it wasn't gray. And
do you know you can still go to a McDonald's? And I blew people's minds. They didn't know this. And you go in the back and you walk up to the front, and you ask for a Ronald McDonald sheet cake.
Yeah, they have those.
They still have them.
Yep, they do.
I remember.
And they will sell you, and it's just like you remember from the 1980s.
I remember when you went to the Play equipment and it wasn't sticky.
Right.
Oh.
No, that never happened. It was always sticky.
And speaking of sticky, I got a gaming keyboard that is uber sticky, but it's the coating that they had on it.
Oh.
And like the early 2010s.
I have
stuff has just melted, and
I have a StarCraft
sticky
keyboard that's like that. It does not come clean. I tried alcohol. I tried all kinds of shit on that thing. It is like melting.
Yeah.
Like it's just gross. Yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much the majority of my haul.
A lot of IBMs do that.
I picked up 3 laptops. Was told that one of them didn't work, and I also check out my channel for shorts this week because I did a couple of shorts. It was a Lenovo ThinkPad it's in really rough shape, and they said, "Oh yeah, it just doesn't turn on." So I brought it in. I took it and brought it, and then Monday, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, I put it on the bench, plugged it in, turned it on, and it worked. No problem.
Nice.
So then I thought maybe it's the battery, so I put the battery back in. Nope, battery's fine. It works with the battery.
Weird.
So,
Something
but
loose, maybe. If you like, take it and twist it and see if it'll still turn on.
No.
Yeah, it's probably something very loosey goosey.
Oh, listen, there's things that rattle inside of it. I don't know what it is.
Either that, or something's like moved around and shorted something out. And now you've unshorted it. Yeah.
So
either way, yeah. So most of the stuff I got works, which is nice and surprising because I also got a 2010 15-inch MacBook Pro with an i5 processor in it.
Nice.
That was missing the bottom, the hard drive, the battery, and the trackpad. So like my thought of it working was really low. I booted it up. It had a bad stick of memory. I pulled out the stick of memory and it booted up. No problem.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So did you guys see that Sony is stopping their Blu-ray production?
Yes.
Leaving physical media fans concerned, alongside LG, Panasonic, and others who are retreating from optical media.
Yeah, it's it's the world we live in now.
Yep.
They'll give you an example. The kids I'm teaching have no concept of like a DVD.
Yeah, well, I was
they
surprised.
recognize them, but they don't actively remember using them.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised that Sony still makes not only the Blu-rays, but Sony also makes many discs still.
Oh yeah,
MD data and many DVD.
Well, they're
cassettes,
super popular
which are
in Japan, right?
Well, they're also ceasing production in February as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's like the floppy disks. Like Japan was huge for floppy disks, and the government was huge for using them. And the only way that they could stop the government from using them was by basically stopping production.
Yep.
Because as long as they were still available, they were still going to use them. So I imagine Sony's probably doing the same thing because they don't want to have to deal with mini discs anymore. So they're like, listen, we're just going to stop it, and the government's going to figure it out.
Yeah, but that also, I would say that's. I mean, they've slowly done it anyway, which is put out movies, on DVD and whatnot, like or Blu-ray. It's going to stop as well, like physical media.
Yeah. And I actually read an article. I'm trying to remember the director who they were interviewing. But basically, he said, having it on your shelf is the only way you can prevent it from disappearing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But what's interesting to me is a lot of games are on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So does that mean like the PS6 or whatever the next one is won't have a disc drive at all?
Probably not.
Because there won't be any games that are on disc.
Right. Probably not.
Other than for backwards compatibility, but I can't see them doing that.
I would
they want people to stop playing the old stuff. They want people to buy the new stuff or download the new stuff.
And they might just go the way of the Switch. They might just put it on a small SD card.
That's true too.
Right? Like there's not like that's a fairly still available, easy to use media that's fairly reliable and doesn't require a whole lot of R&D.
Yep.
Right. So I'd say they're just going to be you buy a game. Here's a 1 terabyte SD card with a or a super SD or micro SD.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's interesting. The collecting of media, I think, there's going to come a time where I think you're going to see a resurgence of rental shops. They won't be everywhere, but in like hipster, like bougie areas, there will be people bringing back like used rental shops.
Well, that's the thing though, and that's why all of the Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, Movie Gallery, all those places closed up because streaming became more and more popular and it was cheap.
Yeah.
Well, now I don't know. I swear I get a notification every month that one of the 100 streaming services we had raised the price again. Like, oh my gosh! Like Netflix just sent out another one.
Yep.
Let me see Netflix.
But they also kind of know right now they got you by the proverbial balls.
Yeah, because
there's like you can't go, like Netflix as an example, you can't get their shows on any kind of, like, you can't get them on DVD, you can't get them on Blu-ray or whatever have you. You
Well,
can
no,
only get them on their service.
Well, right now we pay. Right now we
Well,
pay
yeah,
$25.
there's that way too.
We pay
Well, going to the
$25 a month for
library and
Netflix.
borrowing them is going to be a thing of the past because
Yep.
there won't be any produced to be able to borrow.
But yeah, so Netflix is $25 a month. I just looked, and then it's going up though. So Netflix is $25 a month. Then we have Disney Plus,
which is $25.
we've got, which is probably about the same. We have Hulu, which is now part of Disney Plus.
Right.
We paid separate for that, but now I think it's the same thing. We have Amazon Prime. We have Discovery Plus. What's the one? Paramount Plus we have. So we've got tons of different ones that we pay for. And it's like every one, at least once a month, I get an email that one of them is going up in price.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually by like $3 or $4 a month, each one that goes up.
So you're looking at, we're getting back to basically where we were 5-10 years ago with cable.
You're paying
TV.
$100, $150 a month for streaming.
The only thing I will say that's different than back in the days of cable is at least you can sit down and watch what you want. As opposed to cable TV, we're just what's on. No, I don't watch that.
Well, I will say though that what's pissed me off is like Amazon Prime, for example, is you go and you pull up the app, you see a movie. Oh, well, it's not part of your thing because you don't have a subscription for cable TV.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so then they want to sell you something else.
Right.
So it's just it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Or that, you know, we're going to charge you even more, or we're going to put ads on your streaming now, which is the whole reason why most people got streaming in the first place. I don't want ads and all the other crap. Well, I want to watch.
I will say, however, when I sit down and use a computer that doesn't have my YouTube account logged
I know that pisses me off.
and I get ads, I flip out.
Me too. I pay. That's another thing I pay for. I pay for the plus, the premium, whatever.
And I think if I cancel every other streaming service that I'm subscribed to, I would still have YouTube Premium.
Oh, me too. Oh my gosh, I can't stand the ads. Yep.
And to be honest, the creators make more money with my subscription than they do with the ads, the money they make from the ads.
Sure, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they get how much I watch, there's a percentage base that each individual content producer gets a portion of, and it's higher than AdSense revenue.
Speaking of YouTube creators, Eric's Edge merch store will soon be having Macintosh pajamas.
No, I will not.
Well, speaking of other crazy shit, did you see that people are selling phones that still have TikTok installed for like one sold for $13,000?
What?
Online? Yeah, people are selling their phones.
That's because you're crazy. Orange pumpkin down there.
Yeah. So people are selling phones that still have TikTok installed on them,
right.
online. And people are buying them because a lot of people apparently, when the TikTok went dark, deleted the app.
Yeah, and
not realizing in less than 12 hours it would be back.
Right.
And you can't get the app.
And you can't re-download it.
Yeah, because the app stores are saying it's still technically illegal. We're not putting it back in the app stores.
Yes, exactly.
So
what I'm going to do then is dig out my old Android phone, get her charged up, put the TikTok app on it because I'm in Canada and it don't affect us. And put it up for $13,000.
So if you want to sell your worthless old phones, but
I'm having Flappy Bird.
Install
Flappy Bird phones. People were buying them because you could stop selling them. Anyway, just
I can remember. So I was a huge fan of the BlackBerry phones.
Yeah.
When they were out, and it was called US Cellular at the time was the carrier I had, and they ended up getting bought out by somebody else. But I had a BlackBerry. Oh my gosh, I don't know which one it was, what model it was at the time. But anyway, I went to the newer model. I resold my older model that was in like new condition for almost as much as I paid for the brand new one, because I went into the store, bought a new one, and the guy says, "Hey, what are you doing with your old one?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I usually just keep it as a backup. That way if something breaks, I got something to use." well,
Right.
if you want to sell it, I have a customer that really wants this specific model. And it was a lady that was a bank manager, and he sent me right down to her bank, and she gave me the money right there and bought it.
Nice.
So yeah, but
So basically,
Motorola
you got a free upgrade.
pretty much, yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
have to pay a whole lot more than what she gave me for the old one because it was something that
Nice.
she couldn't get, and
Interesting.
she really liked that specific model. But yeah,
But yeah, I got some old. It was one of the ones with the stylus. The Note. That was it.
Oh,
I think it was a Note 5 I had. I still have kicking around. I should install TikTok on it. Get your
but flip
pirated-
phones are making a comeback. I've seen tons of people with flip phones, in recent days.
Well, it's kind of like you ever see there's a group or a movement now of people who, especially writers, who want distractionless writing.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So they're using
Yeah.
old word processors now, or like the I'm trying to remember the name of it. That one that used to plug into an Apple. You used to type on it, and then you would plug it into
yeah.
Apple, and it would just basically the Apple just saw it as a keyboard. It would just dump everything you typed into a Word app on the Macintosh.
Somebody posted one of those recently on the Look What I Found or the Buy Sell Trade group.
Trying to remember what they're called, but anyway, and I think Colin from This Does Not Compute did or LGR, one of them did a retrospective on them. But yeah, there's a lot of people now, especially writers, especially hipster writers, who want to get away from the distraction because they find writing on their more modern machines.
Sure, absolutely.
There's notifications on, and this pops up and that pops up, and hey, I can go check this. Whereas if you just want to be writing, for example, sir, if you're doing a manual for a video game and you don't want to be distracted, it's you can take your Commodore or your Compaq 286 to the coffee shop.
So there's a writer that became more popular, from his daughter posting on TikTok. His name was Lloyd Deborah Richards.
Okay.
Wrote a book series called Stone Maidens. And I saw a video that she posted where somebody had saw. So he's using an old Optiplex GX desktop that he actually writes the books and stuff on. And so I guess one of the people had seen that his keyboard had seen better days. And they had sent in like 6 different replacement keyboard options. And he tried them. And he liked the older clicky style mechanical keyboard. And I thought that was funny. And I was like, I wonder if that's because it's the only computer he has, or, like you said, provides distraction free. It's not online or anything like that, so you don't have all the modern inconveniences of when you're in the zone writing. And I would say that's probably more likely the case, as he prefers to write on the older machine.
Yeah, I would think that. Again, the only thing there, obviously, take that with a grain of salt, because obviously more likely to have hard drive failure, especially if the machine's never really been taken, looked at, or modernized to some extent, right? But I think it's a great option. I mean, I'm also not opposed to people using typewriters. I think they're fantastic.
Yep.
The thrift shop that I go to that's got the electronic stuff on it what do they call it? A reuse. They had, and it was $50, and I almost got it, but then I'm like, I really don't need it. They had a Corona word processor where the keyboard flips down and it's got the screen and stuff. Yep. And it had a note on it. It said, this does work, but you have to turn it on and wait like 3 minutes, and then the screen will fully illuminate, and then you can do what you need to do on it. But I was like, I really don't need it. I really don't need it. But I could see somebody picking it up specifically for that, if it's something you just want to write stuff on. Because I
have a word processor up here behind me. I don't write, but I think that's a fantastic option to use, especially for that kind of stuff. Eric, how are you writing your manuals for the video game? Are you taking your Compaq? It's a Compaq, I think, right, or is it Toshiba 286?
No, I'm using LibreOffice on
on your
Linux.
Linux machine. Okay.
And
I was wondering if you were doing some distractionless writing.
No. Gonna laser print them and then bind them myself using spiral coil binding, so you can lay the manual flat, which is important. I think.
Yeah.
You don't want to
That's
sit
really
there
cool.
and have to hold it open,
Hey, Apple's Anonymous. Although who's
Let's
no
see,
longer
guys.
anonymous because we saw your other account.
Yeah, way to go, Nick. I mean, Apple's Anonymous.
So Eric and I were talking a little bit before the stream started, and he has his adventure game he's working on.
Yep.
And that let us talk about other people who are creating new games for old systems. And one of the ones I just saw recently is called Roguecraft for the Amiga. And let me see if I can post a link here. Did that go? I think it did.
It did, yeah.
Roguecraft, which is what's the word called?
Dungeon crawler.
Yes.
An isometric dungeon.
Isometric dungeon crawler. And that's one that you could buy for the Amiga. There's also a game called Angry Robots for 68K Max, which is another awesome looking one. And it's very reminiscent to the game Chips Challenge. I loved Chip Challenge when I was in school too. In middle school, we played it on the computer in the computer lab, Chips Challenge.
Yeah.
Thought it was so cool. So I think it's great to see people creating new stuff for old machines. It brings maybe newer people into the hobby that might think it'd be cool to try the game and want to pick up some hardware to play it on, or even to continue to motivate people who already have some of the older hardware to dig it out and to try something new and support some new software being made. So I think that's awesome. I know Eric's got a lot on his done, and he's still progressing through. So I think it's going to be exciting when his is out. But I figured I would shed a little bit of spotlight on some of these other people that are creating newer software for other platforms as well.
Yeah.
Because the more people that see that new stuff's coming out, it might motivate somebody else to make something or a game idea that they had, or, to support some of these creators. So I think it's awesome. For those of you who haven't already, Eric has a coffee site where you can support and donate toward his programming and stuff for the game.
And for every $1 donated, a duck is hidden in a dungeon.
That's right.
Actually,
dollars for ducks.
It's as little as $1 donation. A single dollar once will get you credited in the game as a contributor.
Well, will we randomly show up on tombstones like Oregon Trail?
Oregon Trail.
In the game is a little bit more. I don't have levels like that, but
Okay.
Talk to me. If you got an idea for a character, and you can read, if you go to the website, quackofdawn.com, and read the intro to the game, it'll give you an idea what the game is about. If you got an idea for a character and you want to do a little creative writing, let me know.
There you go. We're going to crowdsource some birds.
Can we do some stuff from Game of Thrones in this? I have some ideas.
I will say that some of my beta testers are like 12-year-old girls. So we got to keep it PG.
Gotcha. Yep. I think it's awesome. That's really cool.
Graphic descriptions of battles and blood and stuff in it. So
yeah, God can't have any sex. God forbid.
So that is awful neat. A lot of new stuff coming out, which is awesome. Let's see what else.
So, how many of you guys have? I was gonna say, how many of you guys have watched the show Severance yet?
Mm-mm.
I don't think I have.
Heard a review. No. Sounded good. Okay, sounded interesting.
So it's a pretty interesting show. I only just started watching the first couple episodes. They're on season 2 right now. It's an Apple show, so again, one of these other platforms you got to pay for. But the series revolves around like this company called Lummen Industries, which uses this sort of controversial process where they split employees' consciousness into 2 distinct identities. One which is like the innies, which are like the workers, like when you're at work time, and then the outies, which is your personal self. So it kind of revolves around that, and it takes place in like today. Yeah, well, it doesn't really tell you when it is, but one of the neat things about it is it has so much retro technology in it. It's amazing. Like, but they don't explain why this retro. So it adds sort of like a layer of, I don't know. It's a really unnerving thing that happens in the background. I don't know how to explain it other than it's unnerving. Especially when you recognize some of the technology, you're like, why is there a Commodore PET in this relatively new big office where they're doing all this weird modern stuff, and that's clearly an iPhone he's using, and so yeah, they're the tip of the hat nod of the whatever they've got, IBM 5150s. There's a bunch of like server mainframe stuff in some of the scenes where you're like, okay, that's like from the 70s, but they use it to build this like. Try to keep the timeline vague, I guess, but it's trying to make it like a more nostalgic feeling, I guess, for people. But I'm wondering how that plays out when it comes, because I haven't watched the whole show yet. I wonder how that plays out with the people that work there. Is that some form of like manipulating them, or is that some form of like controlling them by having older technology there as opposed to more modern stuff? Anyway, I found it really interesting. I started watching it. They filmed a couple episodes here in Newfoundland over the summer. And what's his name?
I think
Ben Stiller.
First season, didn't you?
Yeah, the first season's done. The second season just started. Ben Stiller is the director of a lot of the episodes. And
it's not a comedy,
although it's not a comedy.
Tongue-in-cheek-ish stuff.
Yeah, and like you got Adam Scott, who often plays a comedic role, but this is not a comedic role. Yeah, quite good. I think if you guys haven't checked it out, go ahead and give it a little look at it, and I found it quite interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and thanks to Eric, the other TV series that I just started rewatching again is Merlin, which I had watched eons ago, and you had asked me to find for your daughter, and I did find it, and I guess I'll send it to you if she still hasn't found it yet. But yeah, it's interesting to see. Like you realize it's like Anthony, what's his name from Buffy is in it. He plays the king. Anthony Head. Yeah, Anthony
I don't think I've ever seen Merlin.
Is it? And John Hurt plays the dragon, and like Joel John's dead now, and there's a couple of actors that have been in it. I'm like, oh, he's from Game of Thrones, but like at the time when I watched it in 2008, I would never known who that actor was. The guy who plays Minecraft in the modern is in it, and I didn't recognize him until I looked at him. I was like, he looks really familiar, but he's got a beard, and I'm like, oh, that's Minecraft, and he's about 10 years younger. I was like, this is trippy, right? But the BBC's like that and stuff. Anyway, I digress. It's a good show too.
Cool.
Yeah. And as for this week, it's been pretty quiet because I've been fairly sick. But I do have a couple of packages that I finally got around to putting together that are going to go out hopefully now the weekend, if not Monday. Got obviously something to send to Trina. I've got some stuff for Joe. I've also got something for Tech Night, but I don't have his mailing address yet, so I'll get that from him this week. And I got something for Frank. I'm going to send him a Amiga 500.
We swapped. It's a foreign exchange student program.
Yeah.
I sent him a 500, and he's sending me one back.
Yeah. Mine's Canadian. It says sorry a lot.
That's right. It does. It does. It's going to have a lot of sticky keys from the maple syrup.
Yeah, from the maple syrup.
Yep.
And not that episode of Leisure Suit Larry.
Did you guys see the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders went on sale in Europe?
No, I didn't. What are they sold out or?
I don't know. I don't think they're sold out. So it's around $379 US. 300. What is it? $364.99 pounds.
Yeah.
So just under 365 pounds.
So it means it'll be like $429 here in Canada.
Yeah. I'm guessing in the US it's probably going to be about $450 or so. I'm going to guess it's going to be that close. I bet.
So it'll be $5. It'll be $5 or $4.99 or $5.99 by the time it gets here.
Yeah, because Steam Deck OLED is about $5.50.
Yeah, but the new one is not an OLED.
No.
Right.
Now, I don't know. I know they made the gamepads bigger, I think it is.
The Joy-Cons are bigger.
I don't know. I can't tell that much of a difference, to be honest, between the
if you look at them next to each other, there is quite a noticeable difference.
Yeah.
Big thing is, my question is it going to be too big?
Well, but that's not really a selling point for me to buy another one. Like,
no,
it's just, I mean, it's just
what they're going to do and how they're going to basically force you is they'll just eventually stop making games for the Switch. It'll be a while.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It'll be probably 4 or 5 years, but eventually they'll just stop making. Right, and there'll be certain titles that'll come out and they'll only be on the Switch too. Right.
Let's see.
The Mario Kart screenshots looked pretty good, but that's the only game we really saw was the Mario Kart. And basically, they're saying it'll have like PlayStation 4 level graphics.
Gutbomb says it's not just that it's much bigger; it's much more powerful and backwards compatible. My thing is I bought that Asus ROG Ally this past year, and I like it. It works great, so I really haven't been using the Switch since then.
And that was sort of other Canadian YouTube tech content creators. That was their idea as well. They said basically, you could use an existing Steam Deck even, and probably end up playing a lot of Switch titles.
Yep.
Legally, probably not, but you can.
Sure.
They're entering so the whole premise was they entered a market originally that had nothing. There were no handhelds. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. They essentially started that market 7 years ago.
Now they actually have to compete.
Now there's a competition that needs to happen. So they can't just bring a regurgitated Switch with a few extra bells and whistles. There has to be something more to it that will give people more value there. Well, then they can just go get a generic Windows.
It's funny you mentioned handhelds because I have several, portable handheld devices that I could get.
True.
Right.
That's true.
It's a little heavy.
You need to slim down to one of the Apple One replicas.
There you go.
It's a lot smaller.
That's what I need.
Now that's what you need to do, Frank. You got to take that and turn it into a handheld. Pretty case.
That's right.
You get
print a case,
with big handles on it.
Honestly, it's probably going to be about the same size if you were to do that. Probably, to be honest.
And then what you want to do is put a battery pack in it, right? Make it
Now
make the battery pack this thick, make the screen that thick, and then so it's a brick.
Yeah.
Well, then we'd be closer to like the weight of the Mac portable.
Right.
There you go.
So at that point, you might as well do a full keyboard, trackball, and everything else.
Well, just put the handle on either side of it so you can carry it around like this.
Yes. Like the original Fujitsu, the Life books or whatever they had, the ones that doctor offices used in the beginning.
Yeah.
They became super popular. With the only complaint I have with the Asus, the Ally is the battery life. I'm not super thrilled about the battery life.
Yeah.
It gets hot. Now I'll tell you the machine itself gets hot.
Yeah.
Even playing something that's not super intense, like let's say Disney's Dreamlight Valley or something like that.
Yeah.
The machine, it's hot. Like it gets very warm.
Yeah.
If you're playing for any prolonged period of time. So I think there's definitely room for improvement, or even because it's essentially it's a full computer. It's got Windows and everything on it. But even if you're running Steam OS or whatever, it's pretty lightweight. So I don't see why they couldn't do it. Essentially, I guess it probably is, but I don't understand what's so much heat. Is the newer ARM processors, seem to be a bit better with battery life and.
And your ROG is running on an older Ryzen platform that maybe wasn't really
correct. Yep.
wasn't looking at battery efficiency as much as it would be today. The new Ryzen stuff is definitely way better on
So yeah, I think one of the
Battery
new
power.
ARM chips would be a lot better for the heat and the battery power.
Yeah,
I think
for
that would
sure.
help fix both of those issues. So I'd be more likely to buy something like that versus another Switch. Just to be honest, it's just more versatile. The Switch, I can only play Switch stuff on. Where if I buy something like a newer version of the Ally or even Steam Deck or whatever, there's just so much more stuff you can play on it.
Also, MMU man
Chips
says,
challenge.
but it doesn't run Windows. Yes, it does. Windows on ARM is a thing, and it works pretty well.
Yeah, so my Ally runs Windows. It's a Windows 11 on it.
Yeah, but yours
then-
yours is running a Ryzen processor.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct. Yeah,
No.
but they have Windows for ARM though.
Yeah,
They do.
Windows for ARM
Yes.
works perfectly fine. The translation layer works pretty good for making x86 stuff run on it.
Yep.
Very
Yeah,
similar
so
to
that's
Apple's.
definitely doable.
Yeah.
But also, Steam is going to be releasing their Steam OS to be on other devices.
Which I'm pretty excited
So-
about. That's going to be exciting.
That's awesome. So really, if you had a handheld machine and you're running Steam OS, well, there's your, obviously your Steam games and all that stuff, but that's other Linux-based games that you can run on it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is going to be more prevalent because a lot of people are writing for Steam OS now.
Yeah.
So
The other nice, or the release writing so that it works with Proton, which means
yes,
the translation layer works fine.
Yep.
The other neat or interesting thing is what Xbox is doing, which is I think they're going to be giving up on the console soon.
I would say so too.
I think they're just going to basically say whatever console you want to run, install the Xbox store, and there are all your Xbox games.
Well, honestly, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you're not going to put out physical discs anymore, then really the console was because you needed the disk drive and everything else to use it.
Right.
But with everything else now, you can run the same game on pretty much any platform, even with the Steam Deck or whatever else.
Well, that's the interesting thing is right now Microsoft is leveraging their Azure cloud, and they're running all these games virtualized, and you're just literally you're playing them off a Amazon Fire Stick.
Exactly. So, look, what's the purpose of the console? It's costing them money, essentially.
Yeah, but so if that's the plan, if that's their end game or their the dream there.
But I could see Sony doing the exact same thing at one point.
But see, I think Sony will.
What's the point?
Sony and Nintendo will die on the mountain, though.
Oh, sure, because that's what they do.
And culturally, those companies are very steeped in the culture of their countries.
The console, yeah.
And they will fight for
my biggest. Sorry, Eric, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I was listening to, I forget who it was, somebody's YouTube where they were talking about you used to be able to buy, like your bedside radio alarm clock, and Sony made the best ones, and they had.
Yep.
Some with decent, and they're down to just one model now, even though there are still people buying them because, it's just the market's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So Sony does eventually move on.
Sure. But from their perspective, at least with Nintendo and Sony, is this has been their platform. They've always made consoles. Yeah. I can't see them I'm surprised they gave up on computers, if I'm honest, because they were happy to be making computers.
Eric, our Mavicas still work. There's no need to upgrade.
Right.
Yeah. But my thing is we're getting to the point now with video gaming as a whole to where consoles are holding up development because you have to write the software to work well on the console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The PC can handle so much more, but we still have to dumb it down essentially for the console. So if they, let's equate it to like Stargate, where they're ascension. They're going to have their video game ascension. They're going to shed their physical hardware, and they're going to ascend.
Cloud.
Yes. So at that point, you don't have that limitation of the console, which is a couple generations behind the desktop, essentially. Yeah. How the hardware works, the refresh rate of hardware. So at some point, I think it's going to be a business move to where they're going to have to do it in order to come out with that next thing. Because it's a lot like CPUs. Like we're getting to the point where like, okay, we're getting fractions of improvement.
Right.
Same thing with video games. Like, you know, you can only get so much better to where the console can support it. And then people are going to see, well, why is it so much better on the PC? Well, there may be a trend to where people dump the console and go more to the PC because they have a better user experience to where it doesn't make sense to make the hardware.
Yeah, but I'm thinking it's a lot easier to move IP, and it's a lot easier to, like, if they already have these games, like they could have an Xbox One version of a game, and right now it doesn't exist anywhere. You can't play it on. They can just figure out how to make it work in the cloud, and then they can add it to the library. And if someone's like, "Oh man, I haven't played, I don't know, I'm giving you Fable. We'll say Fable in years.
Sure.
Oh, now it's on Xbox Live. Oh, I'm just going to play that." And they don't have an Xbox, but they have, which I think is going to happen, is they have a PlayStation, or they have a PC, or they have a Amazon Fire Stick, or they have a whatever. They're going to be able just to fire up the Xbox app on whatever device, their Android phone, their iPhone, and play that old copy of Fable. And I think that's where Microsoft is going to make money, because people like Nintendo don't do that, and they refuse to do that. Like Nintendo refuses to allow old IP to be available on newer platforms, or they're very, very staunch against it, and make it very difficult.
Well, playing off of that, I can also see them going a completely different route altogether and just coming up with an FPGA version of a console that does 6 consoles.
Right.
And then they can still sell you the digital downloads to these games, even for the old systems, to play on your new FPGA console. That's the Xbox One is already a thing, but let's say an Xbox Ultimate or something.
That's more hassle for them. Like they're not going to make much money off it. Whereas if it's an app, then they have only one. Oh, it's not working. Oh well, it's your phone. Oh, it's your computer. Oh, it's
blame it on something else. Yeah,
right.
My daughter told me about something that it was interesting to me from a game development standpoint, but somebody had come up with a way to produce your own Pokemon cartridge thing that was compatible with whatever, so that you could take an existing game and change the assets and things into it, as long as you stayed within the pattern or something.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
And enhance it and extend it. And I think that's where the old stuff is going to end up being revived, or people are going to be interested in, is because someone will start producing carts for old hardware.
Yeah,
sure.
Similar to the retro games that are coming out, where you can buy a game for Amiga or whatever.
Sure.
So
yeah, like you still see people making stuff for the NES. You still see people making stuff for Genesis. You still see stuff coming for a lot of different. I'm not sure if you see a lot of optical media. Like, are there still people developing new games for the PS1? I'm not aware of.
Me neither.
Right, and I'm wondering, are there certain limitations, or is that also going to be a problem, because finding those discs are going to be a lot more difficult now.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're not talking a circuit board and just replace cloning a circuit board for an edge connector for a game cartridge. Right?
Or maybe that's where an FPGA will come in. Somebody can emulate it.
Or you have to mod your whatever it is and to get an SD card put in it instead of an optical drive, right? But that's kind of stuff I think about. I'm like, how can we preserve some of this stuff? And especially like if they're getting rid of CDs. Like I remember you used to be able to buy black CDs. Which were the same type that the Sony PlayStation used.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you could burn on regular media, and if it was modded, but it was way cooler to have
CDs.
Oh, I also am well stocked with 2,000 or 3,000 CDs and DVDs. It seems every time I go to the auction, there's always this like miscellaneous office box that I always end up buying that has like a calculator and a stapler and several spindles of unopened DVDs or CDs.
Yep.
And a box of floppy disks.
How
now you can officially say, well, they're not making any more of them.
Exactly.
They don't last forever.
No.
Kind of a thing. But I still have CDs I burned 20 years ago that are working.
Yep.
I don't know if I've got them in just the right kind of environment or whatever. But
What I find is the CDs purchased when CDRs got really cheap, they were the first to fail.
yes.
Mhm.
So like I remember around 2002 to say 2004, most CDs were pretty good. After about 2004, you could start getting 50 CDs for $10.
Yeah.
Then stuff started. Like I had early DVDs that turned red. They
Yeah.
actually
Oh,
turned a
wow.
fiery red. And
Yeah.
just do not work. They
I
look
had
like
ones
a HD.
where the film flakes off.
Yeah, where the actual
Yeah.
silver
Yep.
comes right off.
Yep, exactly. I've had that happen a few times.
But I have ones that I burned, like good Memorex ones that I burnt in like 2002, 2003. Perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm really kicking myself. I used to have an MSDN subscription. That's the
Okay.
Microsoft
Oh, yeah.
Developer
Yeah.
Network.
Yep.
I threw it all away when it was obsolete,
Oh
boy.
but I still have my daughter's favorite game.
Was
And
it
it still
TV
works.
Bear's
Birthday party.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it requires XP. Oh no, Windows version 3.1 or later.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Nice.
So, and then some. I'm looking to see what. Oh, I still have Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness,
Great game.
Hang on.
Red Alert, Command and Conquer.
Great game.
StarCraft, Warcraft.
Yeah, I'm
Warcraft
looking.
2, Tides of Darkness, right here.
I've got a document backup from 2004. What's the oldest thing? 2002, 2003, 2000. Yeah, I guess it goes back to 2000.
So yeah, about just before COVID, probably 5-6 years ago. I went through all the school's backups of CDs that we had that I remember doing when I was a student. And like I said, that's where I started noticing these like cheaper CDs in the 2006, 2005, 2006 era started having more and more problems. But yeah, it's fun going back and hauling stuff off that. Like I found the original school's website from 2001. So for a joke, that year, on April 1st, the school website reverted back to the old school website from 2001.
Nice.
Which has a little thing at the bottom because at the time our Kurt was our IT provider, our IT guy. He hated Windows, so he had no Windows Fridays. So on the bottom of the website, it says best to use Netscape Navigator and not Microsoft, and he spelled Microsoft with like a $sign. And yeah, if you went to the website on Friday in IE, it would tell you to go download Netscape Navigator because IE is garbage.
Yeah.
There's no Microsoft Fridays. Anyway, guys, I'm starting to fade because I have been very tired all week.
Yep. And we're over the hour mark.
And we're an hour in, so we got 11 people watching.
Ron must not have made it back yet.
Yeah, Ron is traveling.
Trina's still here. Just been on Blue Sky.
Ah, yes.
Listening to you guys ramble.
She's been daydreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am going to live stream tomorrow.
So,
Queen.
So
with
I got
that being said,
I'll drop it in.
Yeah, Eric is live streaming tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern.
And it's a hardware stream.
We have Big Bad Biologist at 12 noon Eastern.
It's a hardware
we have Tech
stream.
Ambrosia at 6 p.m. Eastern.
It's a hardware
And we have Dave's Vintage Apple Tech streaming,
crazy.
for what I've heard, is 15 hours tomorrow. Or Sunday, sorry, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Why so long tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm just being facetious.
Sorry.
Seeing if Dave's still awake.
Thanks for the... No, he's awake, but I don't think you heard you say that.
All right, Dave, you're streaming for 15 hours.
Yeah, there you go. Now he figured it out. Now
there you go.
Okay, there's a link to tomorrow morning stream.
And what will you be doing to tomorrow?
It'll be
hardware.
No,
I'm just
kidding.
It'll
be software. It'll be adventure.
HyperCard?
It'll be HyperCard. I broke the rule that I set for myself. I added a new feature because of feedback I got on testing.
Scope creep.
Yeah, but I really got some serious feedback on some testing.
You just turn the microphone down.
That I had showed it off, and I'm like, okay, it won't take me. It only took me 2 evenings to make the change, so that's not too bad.
I'll allow it.
No, thank you, sir.
Oh,
Awesome.
and Thomas, since you weren't here earlier, just an update on my soldering adventures. We're getting the customer a new computer. So we're new to them computer. So
Well,
That's the best way to fix it.
like
yeah.
I always say, you know, you have your choice in Friday night entertainment. We thank you for joining us. Ron's not here to say be kind, but please
That's
be
right.
kind to each other, especially in these most difficult of times. I'm going to quote a very famous psychiatrist who said, "Ladies and gentlemen, take my advice. Pull down your pants and slide on the ice." Good night, everybody.